Oh shit.
Let's get the YouTubes ready and whatnot. Hey, the hell? Well, YouTube says it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, now it is. Let's do
Okay.
her.
3, 2, 1. Echo, echo, echo.
Located.
Yeah, it's it's not great where I'm sitting right now, but bear with me. We'll do something about it soon.
For all the ones you can't see, Mikey's in the loo.
It's not quite that bad yet, but I am facing a wall here, and for some reason it catches everything around here.
That's funny stuff, though.
Yeah.
Well, it's a week two in a new apartment, or podcast number two in a new apartment, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And so far the internet is good, so that makes a big difference.
Nice. Exactly.
Yeah. So welcome everybody to BeoTalk number 55 already.
That's right. That's as big as my TV.
Same here. Only mine is a lot thinner.
Yeah, on the top. It's probably just as thick.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll play that intro music and we'll be right back.
Yeah, we will.
And yes, I will get to a new intro once I'm finally done moving and shit.
That's fine. As long as we still have one.
Yeah, I mean it's nearly a year old now, and back then it was only with Eric, and things have changed. Eric is out for tonight. Henrik is out for tonight, so yeah, it'll be a good old fashioned whatever goes sort of deal.
Nice. So I see, as far as the Beo progress, you put the grills on the speakers.
Oh yeah, and it's all wired and it's neatly tucked. I'll take some pictures later tonight. Once all this crap here is gone. But the cables are stellar. Oh, you can't do that anymore nowadays, apparently.
What?
This.
I wonder what they're gonna do with the Chef Boyardee or whatever the.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's a few brands that that sport a chef doing that. Oh my god. Sandeep Q for our podcast.
So what have you been up to during the day?
Me? Nothing really. Like nothing really. I actually those rebuilt fives that I got.
Yeah, I see them in the background.
One of them has a broken ribbon cable in it, so I have no touch sensors. Well, essentially, like when I send them to get to rebuild the chassis, I just send the bottom. I keep the mushroom top, right? The mid-range and the tweeter, because I don't risk the damage of or risking damage to aluminum or to the platters per se. So they went, they got fixed, like the amps got changed, or basically the entire chassis. But I think, like when I first dismantled them in the client's house, which was a while back, I think that the ribbon cable was just so pinched that it still happened to work because nobody's moved it since it was put in together. And when we take it out for service, the ribbon cable separated, and now I lost the LED status and I lost the touch communication. So I can't trigger in the goddamn microphone to tune itself, right?
So it's tuned for a giant room now.
So it's tuned. Yeah, I don't even know what it's tuned for, but I gotta get it fixed. So I got a ribbon cable. Hopefully, it's just the ribbon cable that is pooched, and not the top PCB.
Yeah, that would suck.
Well, I can still order it, whatever. It's just more cost to the pain, right? But just get it done and get it over with. But they sound good. It's just they don't sound good in my little office where I was trying them out. Yeah. The lab ones are good for that room, nothing else. and I have a 9000 that one of my clients wants to get rid of, so I'm looking for people to get rid of that. There's always collectors, but not many anymore.
Yeah.
For some reason, everybody's starting to growing out of the CDs and moving either into vinyl or streaming services.
Yeah, 2 seconds. I'm just looking at OBS and it's being weird for some reason.
All right.
It's as per usual. OBS is throwing a fit. God damn it.
Something always goes to side.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but
I can still see us being online, so we're good.
I should hope so.
So as far as I don't know how many people that watch actually have either 50s or 90s, but the app got updated twice in a week. There was some correction, or in 2 weeks. Yes, because I forgot to mention it last Saturday or last Sunday. Last Sunday I could not connect into my 90s, no matter what.
Yeah.
Or Sunday prior to, like, there was no way. Like, it was, waking up the speakers. I don't know if you've tried that with your app, when it just goes waking up Beolab 50,
when
and then
it's
it just
on Wi-Fi, it generally doesn't work anyway. It sort of works once in a while.
Mine are hooked up wired, so I know for a fact. And the weird thing is when the speakers are turned off, I guess it's not weird because it makes sense that the main relays, when they shut down the power, they shut the power down to the switches, which is the DPL or the network switch, so they don't show up online. Though, oddly enough, if you go through the iPad app and you go to the settings, or even through the settings on the Bang and Olufsen app, they will turn on, so you can start tuning them and whatever else have you.
Yeah.
So it's a little weird, but now they've introduced, I don't know if people tried it, but now the new add-on to the app is they've introduced the stand positions and speaker group positions, or speaker group settings, in the app, so you can change your stand within the app to whatever presets.
I guess that was a thing on iOS like more than 2 weeks ago now already, because I did that in the old plays.
Oh, have you? I haven't played around with it till now, but I know for a fact that the speaker groups don't work on Android, or at least on mine. Maybe
you're too convoluted. Like you bought
too
too
old
much
for
stuff.
this. Yeah, that's right. It's one of those blames. So, yeah, but no, that's about all there is. And nothing else is new other than, I guess, on the east side of the country, the only thing that's new, that the store's closing down.
Yeah, you sent me a message on that. Where was it again? Near you, right?
No, that's Toronto. So they are on the other side of the country.
Yeah, that's sort of sad. It leaves how many? Like 2 stores in Canada?
Well, it leaves, Commercial Electronics, which is Vancouver, and then there is I think there's one in Montreal left.
Yeah.
And that's it.
If you're not throwing away North America like this, then I don't know what you're doing.
I think that's exactly where it's going, or at least the way that it's being managed, it's that way. They just don't. Like, the rumor has it that you need to have one of each for everything in the stores. I don't know if the shops like, you go around the stores, do they have one of each?
For a lot of things, yes.
On display, right?
Yes.
So people here refuse to do that because they just can't sell. Hey, Marco. They can't sell the, like, certain, like, brass tone or TVs like that, like, there is no market for it in North America, despite the fact that thinks there is, whatever the fashion statements and that and this is. Like, you need to go after what sells, which is more or less black or white or just polished aluminum. That's it. That is all there is. And white. Like, now, like, the white is cool because, like, all the furniture and things that, like, everything is designed, the kitchens are white and all this shit. So you either design it with the countertops, and then you match and whatnot, or you design it with the faucets or whatever. So then you go for, like, I would go for high polished.
Yeah.
So, but that's just me saying. So, anyways, Yeah. So I think that's where the issue is, and I guess I don't know if the dealers are getting sick of
It's
it or
probably also
whatever.
too expensive, quite honestly.
Well, to have three sets of lap 50s on display per se, right?
Mm.
I don't know if that's possible even in like in stores in Europe if they do it to have them on from each color.
Uh, I'm not.
Generally,
My dealer at least has two colors at least, because the brass
mhm.
tone is in the front of the shop when you come in, and every time I walk in, it's like, God, those are ugly.
Just whack right in the face.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, this is bad. I
But
I
yeah, that's
I was too short to look around if you had the black ones, but I know for sure he also has the regular ones. And then he does have the cloth cover and also the aluminium cover.
yeah.
Uh, I'll look next time, see if he has the black ones. I wouldn't be surprised if they're there somewhere. I just haven't
Mhm.
spotted them yet.
So, but
Because last
here,
time I was like there for, I don't know, under 10 minutes. So I was like in and out with a question.
yeah, you can't really notice much. So, but yeah, that's where it is. Like I don't know, people. Plus, the economy sucks here with this. Like not that it sucks here all the way, because the market that buys that doesn't really get affected as much.
Mm-hmm.
But there is also a lack of product. Like the new Harmony, I hope that it catches on. I really like that concept of it, but they just need to work out the wood.
Yeah.
They need to work out the meeting parts. I know that all the shit now is prototypes, and I'm not hacking at them for it. But at least the one that you showed on the shows, where people would take the heck out of pictures, you should have had it so it lines up properly. I don't know that interview with Thorsten Velour. I don't know if you've seen it on YouTube.
Yeah. And the
Like
the
this thing just.
the CFO or something like that.
Yeah. But I don't know. That should have been. I don't know. Like if you even look like the grills look like they weren't placed in properly in those rubber grommets.
Yes, but
At least the right one, or I mean left one, if you're standing up against it.
they probably didn't have Christian put it on, so that's where the issue is.
That's right. Christian was sick.
He would have done it properly.
But there's got to be also some sort of a micro tuning to get it so it matches up all the time. And there has to be a way.
I bet you they're the same sort of push pins as this stuff is.
Oh, for sure. But also, I'm saying like mechanically, you can somehow twist it just like you can do the Center 2.
Yeah,
The walls, I mean the walls, those two clamps. Then the same thing. Like you should be able to tune the elevation and how they meet. Because
probably.
the
Yeah.
because the bottom just separates by default with that light guide that comes in.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I like that sort of movement, but I would have preferred a simpler movement, as in like if this is the screen where the speaker just comes in front of the screen, or vice versa. And then they sort of, if this is the screen, if the speaker comes in front and you separate and become like that sort of movement. Like I think this whole movement is a bit much.
I don't mind the movement, quite honestly. I mind the thickness, the overall thickness. Especially like Marco's saying that, the wall bracket. I can't imagine putting that 75-inch thing on the wall bracket. Because then it's got that grandfather clock effect, right? Where the wings flap out and the TV rises up in a little bit. I find it a little too, not even gimmicky, but it just too pointless on the wall. But on the floor stand, I agree with it. It's just I wish that whole thing rotated. I really do.
Yeah, even if it was just a little bit.
Yeah, because that's something that like you can sway a 77-inch panel quite a bit, like just by using 25 degrees of motion.
I don't know if you can see back here, but like in the morning, the sun comes up there. So with that screen,
Yeah,
if I can't pivot it, I just can't watch any TV in the morning because it's just going to be glare galore.
yeah.
And that's kind of annoying with the Eclipse. You just, even if you sit straight forward, you just tilt it like, I don't know, 5 degrees and at least the glare's out of your face.
Well, that's exactly the point of the motorized brackets, right? Or I mean, floor stands.
Yeah.
And especially with the orbital one. Like, I don't understand why, like, that feature should not have been taken away. Or at least they should have adopted the principle of a BeoVision 9, where it just turns one way or the other. And that's it.
Yeah, maybe STB will come with a motorized bracket. I hope so.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
With this TV, I almost wouldn't even care if it just has a wall mount motorized bracket.
Yeah. To swing it out. But the thing is as thick as this, like BB465. And the thing is heavy as fuck. It's 110 kilos.
But who was it? I think it was ET Technical on Instagram who had like an Avant 85-inch on a motorized wall bracket.
Yeah, that's the same weight.
Yeah, well, it's probably a lot heavier.
No, they're the same weight. Like the floor stand itself is what? It's 80 kilos. The panel is 30. So I think it's a little less for the wall bracket because you lose all that bottom weight and crap. So I don't know what the weight of that would be. It'll probably less 10 kilos. So.
Yeah. So it's still 120 kilos. It's a pain in the ass to get up the stairs anywhere. I know because I did it with my, what you call it? God damn it. With my fridge, that's it. I've like these American style fridge, and it's about 6 feet tall and about 4 feet wide and about 4 feet deep.
Holy shit.
When I ordered it, they say free delivery. Except like in the tiny like asterisk, there was like American style fridges we don't bring up the stairs. So they literally delivered them to the stairs. And I had to
Here you go, sir.
Yeah.
Sign off.
So I rang a friend and we we manhandled that thing up the stairs.
I'm sure he was excited for that phone call.
No. Not at all. We had like about 2 inches on either side of the fridge to spare to get it up the stairs.
Oh my god. That's like the bringing the 90s into the house here. That was sucky. Yeah. In the boxes.
Well, at least they are sort of, I don't know, more manageable because you can, even with the two of you, you can still sort of high five. This guy is just far away.
I don't know. Mark was saying that he would never put such a heavy TV on the wall. I disagree. If you have a good wall and it's all reinforced properly, there's no rhyme and reason for it not to put on the wall.
Yeah.
I've put a couple of Avant 85s on the walls before.
Yeah, my dealer told me about a story that he also put an Avant 85 in Italy on a wall. And then once they did it, they found out that the wall was one brick layer. As in it wasn't double brick. So
oh shit!
They saw the whole wall buckle that it held up in the end.
Yeah, here, like obviously, it depends. Like if you spend that much money on a TV, you don't really mind having your wall cut up and put stuff in properly to reinforce the wall behind it to make sure that it stays on the wall.
If you spend that much on a TV anyway, what's the point of skipping out on like a few $100?
You know what? Like I've done a couple that went over the fireplaces, like monumental fireplaces, and there was no way to put the TV on the floor stand, so you had to put it on. And the way it worked out that the kitchen was in the right hand angle or left hand angle from the TV, so you could actually have a motorized that was Avant 75 that had a motorized wall bracket that would swing out into the kitchen view. But the house was so big that TV looked like a 55 from kitchen.
Yeah.
But
oh well.
Yeah, I don't agree with people putting stuff over the fireplace, but the way that fireplace was done and vented, because we've collaborated on quite a bit. Like that was an extensive project. It was quite expensive for them to do, I'm sure. It was vented perfectly, so there was really no heat that was actually accumulating either on the back of the wall because it was dual wall fireproofed as well. And as far as the heat from the outside, there was a fan that would blow the heat away from the actual structure and raising it upwards. So it was pretty slick how that was done. And that TV still I haven't had a single phone call in 4 years now since I've installed it. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, on the wall bracket, the harmony will still probably stick out quite a lot, but
well, that's my concern, right?
it'll
Because
stick
of
out
the
like at least 2 inches less than on the floor stand.
oh, at least because I wonder what the lip is on this floor stand on the back of it because
Well,
I
it's
know the
enough to
front
put
is not.
polished aluminium on it, like literally a cover plate.
Yeah.
So that's at least 2 inches.
Is there any dimensions that are spec'd out on even on the B&O's website? Nowhere, right? Like just what the
Yes, but not public.
um
And I think it's partially because it's all subject to change.
yeah, maybe they'll just make the stand a little bit different. I don't know if I agree with that huge power bar like stacked inside the back of it.
It's better than like with an Eclipse having it outside.
Well, yeah, fair enough. At the end of the day, like, is that what we're doing now? Like, we're making, because that's
You
what it
know,
all more or less is to make the storage.
I don't know if you remember with your Eclipse, but what is especially a pain in the ass and why I do like the power bar is that like the screen has its own plug, but it's not replaceable or extendable.
I hated that.
So like I had a hard time. Like this is literally the outer edge of what the screen power plug will reach.
Can
This little
reach.
box here.
Oh,
And by outer edge, I literally mean it goes up. I've made an extra hole, so it goes out the corner of the back, and then like whoop, and it's tight. It like push it any further, and you start pulling on the TV.
yeah. What we did here, like, well, what I did here when I installed it, I actually spooled everything into the back of the TV and then just got the extension, more or less the extension cords that I made that both traveled. One was for the sound bar. Well, it wasn't really. It was just a 5 meter cord. Sorry, that went from the sound bar into the Lego box where all the power bar shit is. And then the other one was spooled up inside the panel power was spooled up inside the back, and I just got the male to female extender, and I just plugged it in, and then I just
Wait,
I made my custom cable basically, right?
Did you cut it then? Because it is one of those big ass round. Oh no, it's America.
It's America, right? So
Oh
we just
yeah,
have
you have different plugs, so that actually
have those little
that would
double
never fucking
prong.
work in the back of an Eclipse in Europe. Maybe in Britain, but I doubt it.
Yeah, because this thing is just like a cement mixer cable bullshit of yours. I remember.
Yeah, well, it's a two-prong out of the top of the thing, but it comes
I
on
know.
a round plug that's still like that big.
Is it angled too, probably?
No, it's just straight.
Okay, good.
But
Yeah,
even so,
that's
like
the only thing I.
like the Bang and Olufsen, if it's just like the flat two-prong European one, that like I can understand you can fit that in the back of an Eclipse, but at that point you might as well buy a longer one.
That's so funny that those small differences, how big difference they actually make. Because yeah, that's what we have here. It's just a little, the double pronger makes no difference. Because yeah, you can and like I carry those in my kit, right?
Yeah.
If I need to extend the wire, I'll do it. And that's how I do them. So I, go with the code
that
as
would
well.
never
so I
work
don't,
here ever. Like you'd have it hanging out off the back on the outside.
fucking Velcros and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So yeah, and that's going to be ugly because like if I scoot over a bit more, I can see it. Especially when it's on, the TV comes forward and you can see it from like half the room.
That's so stupid that you can't do that. Like, but you could do it if you just can you not just like Marette the cables? If you were to cut off the actual, plug part.
Yeah, but bye warranty.
I guess you would with that, yeah.
Yeah.
And you wanna, yeah, and if because you still got some time on it, and now you're itching for the fucking harmony.
Yeah, sort of. I don't know. I do like it, and yeah, I don't know. I'll have to see it in real life, and I have to get the female okay first, and it definitely won't be the wood if it looks anything like in the pictures in real life. Because my girlfriend likes stuff to be clean, so she was already like very annoyed that we have to like podcast now because there's like this paper crap down here. She wants to take it away.
and you're the dickhead that highlights it on. Right on.
Yeah, well, if I do this, you're gonna see it anyway. If at any point.
But you moved, so it's okay. Like it's not. You can't just have everything 100% like right out of the gate, especially after you moved so much.
That's what.
Or that's everything, more or less.
Not.
That's not what women think.
No.
That's what that. Tomorrow. What?
Oh, by the way, I missed a question from Michael. Do you have any experience with the BeoFox 2500? I don't.
BeoVox 2500?
Yeah.
Oh my god, what speaker is that?
It's an
BeoVox 2500.
Those are the what you call it? The sort of UFO-looking squares on top of the.
Oh, the tweeters,
Yeah.
the four-way tweeters. No, I've never really heard them.
Yeah, the weird. I don't know. They're cool, and I would buy them, but as in.
Oh, what?
Well, just to have them, literally, as in like more sort of a memento. Like I wouldn't even care if they worked or not.
Yeah, I know, but I just like, yeah.
Like I put them somewhere as an ornament or something.
If I buy a pair somewhere, I'll find one. I'll send you one so we can both have one on the shelf.
Yeah, cool. I just put up a cover for like stuff.
Right on, right on. So when I find it, one is yours.
Yeah, for now my BeoSound 1 is on top of it, and this thing. I still have to unbox it.
Oh, right on. You should crack it open. What color is it?
Black.
Oh, right on.
So's yours.
Nice. You should pop them open and listen to them in stereo.
Yeah, I will. If you don't mind me opening yours, it's wrapped.
I don't give a shit. Just go to the next grocery store and tell them to wrap it like a watermelon.
No, yeah, I think I'll leave it for a video or something.
Yeah, you should, because it's a really.
Finally have a burger.
Nice. That's cool. I like that. Burgers are wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my favorite. It honestly is one of my favorite speakers that B&O had made to take with you anywhere. And this one that I have, like that one's got a lot of travel on it, a lot of history, a lot of dents and dings, and wine spilt and water spilt on it.
Yeah,
so,
I'd feel much less. I'd rather take this with me than my BeoSound 1, that's for sure. Oh, and also especially because it's black and not the bronze, or what is it, brass?
Silver. Oh, bronze. Ooh. No, the silver I could take.
Oh no, it's brass. It's copper. It's the police color. God damn it, John. You fucked us up.
It fucked you up, and I'm always screwed up because of you. Well, brass stone is brass tone, right? There's a different one.
Yeah, it's the bronze one. It's not the brass tone. It's not the sort of gold-looking color.
Oh yeah, he calls it copper, but it's bronze.
Yeah. Yeah, brass is sort of looks more like gold, and I don't like it one bit. The brass is excellent. Bronze is excellent. The brass is shit. Get that.
Too much of very similar colors, guys, I think.
Yeah, now let's wait until they make one in white or something.
And then there's a rose gold, right? Well, that's already yesteryears.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything other than the 90s now that is made in rose gold.
Are they
Or
still made
if
in rose gold?
those even are. I don't know. I haven't really configured much. I haven't played around with the configurator app. Apparently, you can configure the what's it called? The harmony. So we'll see what they'll do with it because it doesn't really work much.
But also, what's there to configure?
I guess the wood,
Yeah, wood or cloth, but it.
wood cloth and wood color, and I guess I don't know wall bracket or mount or floor mounted.
Okay. Well, yay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the whole wall bracket scenario. Still.
I don't know. I guess for like ease of movement or getting to anything, that floor stand is probably easier. Like if you ever need to attach another HDMI cable or whatever, because you
Oh
can,
yeah,
because you sort of scoot it forward, and that's
there is
it.
no shit. Yeah, you're. I wouldn't even know how to even do that. Like, do you have to take off the panel,
Probably, yeah.
connect it all, and then put it back in? But it's more or less on the. I don't think you would have to because I think that whole connection stuff happens on the bottom where the sound center is, or wherever the sound center is placed, the brain.
Yeah, but no, because all the connections are like in the top back of where those hydraulic things push up.
So that's probably where the sound center may be.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's the
Mm.
sort of Biosystem 5 thing. I mean, it's almost an affront to call it a Biosystem 5, but for all intents and purposes, it is that.
So
Because
will it have the Atmos in its support or no?
I don't think so, and I think that's partially because they have to sell it as two separate pieces.
Mm.
Like it's weird because your TV, your LG TV you put on there is Atmos capable and certified. Yet your B&O chip that comes afterwards that strips the sound out isn't.
That's almost silly how that works.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you understand Dolby. They want money for everything. They want basically money for a sticker.
Yeah, but if you had it running, well, I guess are the LG panels also gonna be wireless hookup, or I guess that's gonna also be managed through the sound center. I think
Through the
so.
sound center. I mean, I'm almost thinking like in your situation, for like most Netflix and or TV stuff, you're almost better off via the new LG TV and just use Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Because can you really hear the difference all the time when you're just watching regular TV or Netflix?
Oh, the Netflix, you can hear the difference, I think. Well,
But
I
is
don't
it
know if
worth
I can
20
hear the
grand
difference.
to you, I guess?
It's a difference to hear Netflix on. Well, there's a difference between the YouTube shit and Netflix. That's basically the only thing I can really tell you because I do not watch regular TV anymore at all.
So I guess
I don't have time for it. Not that I don't have time for it. There's nothing to watch, and every time you watch the morning news and shit, then it's always commercials. I'm not interested in commercials, and then it just kind of it eats your time away because you always it catches your attention a few seconds at a time, and
yeah, it's not
things
so
start
bad
to
here
get
yet.
longer. Things start to get longer and longer because you're doing shit around the TV being turned on. So I don't care for it.
Yeah. So I was thinking, like, if you have 90s and why so capable, like 17, 18s, 90 or 19 or whatever, why saying a regular LG panel is almost the way to go. Because for like, if you want to listen to high-end music, I mean, you can still plug that in directly to your 90s. Where it really matters, because I don't think like 24-bit 96 kilohertz or 24-bit 192 kilohertz doesn't matter that much for the enjoyment of a movie. I mean, it'll be slightly
not really.
clearer, but is it worth 20 grand?
No, and for me, like obviously that TV, even though there is movement, it's very limited movement, and to me there is really none. because I already have a motorized speaker that comes down from the goddamn bottom of the TV. This one doesn't raise up, but it drops things down.
One that you don't use.
And I don't use it anyways. And secondly, if I tell the Google to move it, it'll do it, which this won't do. And like the TV significantly blocks my, the in between the white 90s that you don't want to, walk around really much or kick them with the fucking dusty slipper. So I appreciate the movement of the television. And same thing if I open the windows on the other side, the TV moves out of the way for 10 seconds time that I program into the macro, and then it just parks itself back once I open the window. So that's no longer a possible motion with the freaking. And a 77, fuck, like 65 was huge here, dude. 77 would be big, and that's too big for me. And it's it's not even the space left, like it's just darkens the space down no matter what they say about this, foldage and whatever. But I just find it would be just too dominating in here. I like the 55. I actually, for the first time that in my life, I like going down from 65 to 55 was in here to do this, and more or less it was an experiment, and I like it. I kept it.
Yeah, I mean, I must say, the not having a center channel heavily depends on how far everything is away. Because I must say, I already noticed, like in my new setup here, because that speaker is from like center to this center is about 5 meters now, and I notice a bigger difference here with having no center than having like at the old place where it was closer together.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, in this one, how is it? Well, you haven't tuned your speakers, so you can't really attest to anything much. Obviously, they're too bassy and completely.
Oh yeah, like what Henrik said
but
is absolutely true. Like the other day in the evening, I couldn't listen to anything musically above 30, volume 30, because they were out of the box factory settings. They're so fucking bassy, it's ridiculous.
That's funny.
I mean, I bet the mid-range probably was at like, I don't know, level of speech. So let's say 50 decibel. The bass was probably at 70 to 80.
Wow.
So that was really loud already.
Yeah, I like them. There's not much difference between the 90s tuned and untuned in here, but they definitely round off. There's actually more bass with them tuned, but it's proper bass, like it's placed properly in space and time, where the other one is not. It's all over the place. It's turbulent. So what are the guys talking on the chat there?
Michael said, so an LG C9 with a very good soundbar or a pair of 50s for music? Not exactly. I would say a C9 with 50s, and then if you want to listen to proper music, just connect it to the 50s, not to your TV, like you used to in B&O.
And you're using the app anyways with the 50s and 90s to control the sound and the sources, so you can go unselect do the automatic or the WISA. Yeah. And then you can just select your in my case, it's XLR, which I don't really use, but SPDIF, optical, USB in, whichever one, analog RCAs. And you can
get one of those room boxes or whatever.
And you can actually set the tuning preset into the sources on the app. If you download, I don't know if it works on yours, but it works on the it doesn't work on the Android. Don't get me wrong. It only works on the Beolab 90 app that I have that I played with, specifically designed for these.
iOS.
That's right. They haven't really made one for it makes too much sense, I guess. Anyways, I don't want to go off tangent. So yeah, that'll then you can listen to it. So shut up. But you can also. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it, because there's no other way to do it unless you go with the Almanda box or whatever. Yeah, and you're kind of using somebody else's DAC. So.
Yeah, Sandeep asks, I wonder how the Wi-Fi signal fits into the speaker pro. It doesn't, but you're gonna need the app to change in that case anyway, or do volume.
Yeah.
So you're just, instead of like WISA disconnects all the wired connections. So you just press automatic and then it chooses whatever is playing. Since you're already in there, it's only one extra step. I mean, it's less cumbersome, or it's more cumbersome than, let's say, a full-on B&O system. But then again, you save 20 grand.
That.
I mean, for like 2 extra taps on the phone,
or get a bloody Link-Eye.
Yeah.
Get a Link-Eye and just put this in a BeoSound setting, and then you can just go. The presets are basically the favorites or my buttons. So first 3, or there's 4 now, and you can go through different sources. I think they're listed in the manual. I know CD is SPDIF, and that's all what matters to me, because I can then activate. If I were to put a Link-Eye into this into the 90, I press CD, and I have a shorting pin, and the 9000 is not connected on the, let's say, the master link anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Then I can just press CD, which will turn on the CD player, but it also turn on the SPDIF port in the 90s. So then I can control the volume. Even though the 9000 would go volume up and down, it would be the 90s that actually go volume up and down, because their Link-Eye would dictate, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they thought of everything to sort of price themselves out of the market, which is weird.
But I love the way that, like, I love the connectivity behind it or between it. Like, if you have an understanding of it, it's not that hard to mess around with the shit. But in the same token, like, you know, nobody really has a CD player anymore that they care for, at least here. That, like, people are dumping it out. I have another 9000 inside my bedroom.
People are dumping those?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I love that I have one for the first time in, I don't know, years. I still haven't hung it, but it's going to go up on the wall there. And even if I don't use it, it's going to stay there as a piece of art.
Yeah, so I am, you know, it is what it is, but people are moving away from that because it's all convenient. Streaming services, everything's in your phone nowadays, and who cares, right? They're still in that convenience. But then again, I don't disagree with it, don't get me wrong, because I like to have my music on my phone so I can just connect Bluetooth in the car and listen to my shit whenever I am, whatever I'm doing. But in the same token, I do like to have a committed system once I get to my house, that I don't have to have something that I catered to with my phone only, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things why I still appreciate, even though for how clumsy and clunky the moment is, I still appreciate the function of it in the house. And yeah.
Oh, I totally agree. By the way, different subject. Have you ever been into like the Marvel universe and or Avengers and stuff like that?
Oh, for fuck's sakes, man! I knew you were going to ask me that. No, not really. No, why?
Oh. Well, I saw the movie on Thursday, the last one.
How was it?
Very mediocre.
Cool, because that's everybody's here is just building it up, like, you know, people are fucking sleeping in tents in lines and shit. I'm like, no, thank you. I'll stumble upon it on Netflix on a boring ass rainy night. That's what I'm doing.
Well, that won't be a thing anymore because you'll have to have Disney Plus soon. Because Marvel and Fox is now owned by Disney, and Disney's is taking all its Disney/Marvel stuff off of Netflix, and they're starting their own streaming service.
We are making our own monopoly, yeah. Good for them. Then I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah, actually, well, this sort of ties in because last Wednesday, last Tuesday, I was like laying cables and moving speakers a bit around, and I threw my back out laying cables, for God's sake. Like messing around with these speakers, no problem. Laying cables somehow.
No, there's a lot of difference because you're always torqued in weird places and awkward, and yeah, I know how much it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I must say it looks stellar, but this is the first day I've
blood, sweat, and tears, bro.
This is the first day in like since then that I've actually been able to move, literally, as in like I could walk, but I walk at a grandma's pace, because like literally doing this hurts so much.
Did you go to the chiropractor?
No.
Why not?
because
I don't believe in that.
no, that's not it. I just thought I'd give it a few days. If it's more than a few days, then then you do something about it. Otherwise, it's just muscular mostly. So anyway, on Thursday we didn't have anything to do because I literally couldn't move. So we decided, well, the movie theater from this new place is a 5-minute walk.
So half hour later.
More or less, but we got there. So, out of all the Avenger movies, I would say this is like literally the worst one.
Was it worth the walk?
Not really. Which is kind of sad, because like all those movies, I've liked them so far. And the last one was stellar. I mean, it wasn't like, I don't know, Schindler's List good, but for like a comical action figure movie, it was like a good or 8, 9 out of 10. This last one, after like 10 years, like literally a decade of making movies, it ended on like a 6 to 6.5 out of 10. And it was the longest movie out of all of them. I mean, I don't understand. It was weird. There were pacing issues. Like the first hour and a half or so, it was slow. Like it was slower than most dramas.
Interesting.
So, whoa. I think OBS is being attacked.
Doing its thing. It's doing its thing.
Live stream offline. Oh.
Oh, I think you're dropping. Something went.
No, I don't know what's happening. OBS is like in bandwidth going up and down, up and down. What the hell?
Yeah, we went offline.
Are we back? Are we back? Are we back?
I don't know.
We're under attack.
We're under attack. Somebody stepped on the Cat 6 cable.
Yeah, maybe. This is weird. OBS is open broadcasting service.
Marco, who is OBS?
So it's the software that you use to broadcast.
Oh, that's too funny.
We should be good now, but what the hell?
Yeah, that was pretty slick.
Yeah, it took a complete dump. Endgame, yes, very much.
Mikey's cat cable's got chewed by a cat. Watch them sitting there tapping on the reset button on the router.
Oh no, they're actually, fortunately, they're all gone. I literally stopped them from messing around with stuff. Supposedly we're back again, it looks like on my end, and fairly smooth.
Yeah, we're good. We're chucking along.
Weird. Anyway, it's there's a bunch of wokeness and like social justice crap in it, and it's also very. In like, even like, if you forget all the like superhero stuff, it doesn't make any fucking sense on many levels. There's like plot holes galore, and it's. I would almost say if you plan on seeing it, wait for a DVD or like a morning matinee where it's like, I don't know, anywhere between $5 and $10.
Yeah, it's a new B&O software. You know what? I watched, I don't know what the heck, I more or less is like doing the time, is I watched a movie on Netflix 2-3 days ago.
Yeah.
It was some sort of a military bollocks, and it was with Bruce Willis. Airstrike or some shit. Just came out. Oh my god, like it was pulling teeth, but I'm like, you know what? I'll just finish it now, because you know when you get so far in, I'm like, I'll just tough it out, and that's terrible. But it was only an hour and a half. How long was that? The Avengers.
2.5 hours.
Oh, dude, yeah, I don't like movies that long. That should come with the freaking like a mid pause or something.
Well, I mean, like, I understand if it's not people's thing, and I personally don't mind, but so there is a whole like story arc to this, and it comes from all the comics. Yet, with the last sort of movie, which was supposedly the end because like a bunch of actors aren't going to do this anymore at all.
3 hours, Sandeep says.
So a bunch of actors are basically like quitting their major roles that they're known for now. And
freaking Titanic.
It's sort of bungled. It's weird. It wasn't a good movie. Like I don't know if you heard the Thanos snap. You probably heard it or saw it in a meme online at some point. Like in the last movie, the Thanos is the bad guy. He does that, and literally half the planet dies. Anyway, in this new movie, 5 years later, they're literally sitting around in like sort of what you call it, Alcoholics Anonymous groups, talking about how bad they still feel. Like 5 years later, it's like, what the fuck?
But was it 5 years later, or was it like, I don't...
Well, it was really like,
that.
in the movie, it was 5 years later, but people apparently bring it up 5 years later, and they break out in tears. And this is during, like, dates and stuff. It's
wow.
Imagine, like, being so distraught that if you lose a loved one, which is hard enough as it is, granted, but 5 years later, you still cannot cope with anything.
I don't. I think their movies are just over buttered now. And yeah, $200 million. So yeah, I don't know. I'd rather watch a whole bunch of fucking dash cam videos from Russia, because those are so much more entertaining than some mindless fucking 3-hour movie that gets mixed reviews. Suka blood and fucking and these Ladas are just falling apart in pieces. Parts and wheels and axles everywhere, dude. I like it. So that's what I watch. And I watch a whole bunch of like Lego shit, and then every now and then I venture down the Netflix hole and watch a movie. Or what did I watch? The Black Summer, which is out on Netflix. And the final scenes were done, like, I shit you not, like 3 stations away from my house. So I was very shocked that they actually used Calgary for the final episode.
Well, there's a lot of tax discounts for filming in Canada.
Everything. We'll support everybody other than our own people.
So a lot of Avengers that was taking place in New York was also filmed in like Calgary and Toronto and whatnot.
Or Vancouver, probably.
Yeah, because they get a heck of a lot of tax breaks for filming in Canada.
There you go.
So yeah, Avengers isn't... well, at least the last one, I wouldn't say go and watch it. Not for like the premiere type ticket prices. It doesn't make any sense to me, because I was hoping, like, from all the previews, it looks like it's a great movie, or at least entertaining the whole time. Like, even my girlfriend, she's not... She liked the last few, and she's not, like, into Marvel or anything, but even she was like, boy, this is cringy. What the fuck is going on? She quite often, like... this is weird. This doesn't make any sense. And she's like not into comic books ever. Like not even as a kid.
Oh, now you're both pissed off walking home. Fuck.
Yeah.
3 hours later. Should have stopped somewhere for a pint.
It made $1 billion USD in the first weekend. Well, I guess that's people anticipating and not putting reviews out, but I know for a fact, even on Twitter, I wasn't the only one that thought it was very mediocre.
So the brainless Americans just hoard it into the theaters to watch.
Like, don't get me wrong, it's not atrocious, but there's a lot of cringy stuff in there that doesn't make any sense, and there's a lot of plot holes. It's like, I'd be fine having it on DVD or watching it, paying it for like a DVD for it, but
not even a Blu-ray.
I
want to play it on my BeoCenter 2 on my BeoVision 5. This movie is worth a set of 6,000s and 8,000s and the lab too. Oh shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just I haven't. What did I think the last movie that I went to see was Lego Movie 2.
Yeah.
that I went to see in the theaters. I was quite, not that I was disappointed, but it was less Lego-y than the first one was. Because the first one, the whole fucking thing was made of Lego, right? With the second one, it was kind of in the universe or whatever, so it wasn't. But I did like the sound.
I prefer those sort of movies in like English, but because they're like semi geared towards kids, they get dubbed here. So it's kind of hard to go and watch them in English. So I haven't seen any of them yet. But from what I saw in the trailers, they're actually kind of quite funny.
They are funny as hell, man. And yeah, the English definitely gets washed away. Like the humor gets washed away if you translate from English. I can definitely tell you that.
Yeah.
Like no matter how quirky they want to be, to translate it in speaking different languages, I know for a fact that there's a lot of things that you just can't translate because they don't just translate in the language that you're in, or country you live in, or culture you're in, or whatever. So, especially jokes, I guess, right?
Oh yeah, you just have to make different jokes.
Yeah.
Because a lot of jokes don't translate.
So.
I mean, here in Holland, like a lot of jokes are about Belgians. So, like that, if you do that in America or something, it has to be about either Canadians or Mexicans, and you can't do Mexicans because that's racist for whatever reason. And Canada quite ends with Mounties and water boots and stuff like that.
Oh, the Mounties are hilarious. Everybody takes a picture of these people, right? But cause you don't really see them like the regular. If you get pulled over on the highway, it's usually the county cops. It's not the dude on a horse and a fucking,
Excuse me, sir.
That's right. Has LED braids on his horse that they glow red and blue. The hooves are glowing and shit. No, it doesn't work like that.
Those glow up Nike shoes for kids.
Yeah, no, they don't appear like that. They just straight up cops come out of the car and fuck yeah. You were speeding, boom, boom.
Are they actually as friendly as you see in American TV shows all the time?
I don't know. I find cops are pretty hard ass, especially like the city cops are. I find that the county cops are definitely, not that I have an encounter with them, but like I know from getting pulled over.
Yeah.
It definitely sucks more in a city. Something's happening again.
Yeah, let's see.
Like he's downloading fucking.
Oh, god damn it.
Mikey's downloading Beolab 50 software.
No, I'm not downloading anything. Hold on, let me see if there's something I can do real quick.
All right. He's gonna knock the laptop off his girlfriend's hands. I'm gonna say all this shit because he's not listening right now. It's funny.
Absolutely nothing is on, so I don't know what's going on.
Probably the TV's running its own update. Is it
yeah,
red?
Maybe. It's fucking weird.
That's funny stuff.
Sorry about that. I don't know if it's my network or if OBS needs an update or... It's... what the fuck?
Mark was saying have you seen the Norwegian series? I haven't even, Sandeep's asking where are the cats. I said there's this tapping on the reset button on the router, man. Oh, what does that do? Tap, 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 tap.
Yeah, they're not allowed near cables, especially Bacon isn't, because he loves to bite in anything shaped like a shoelace. So,
my friend's dog learned that there's two different flavors to the Xbox cable. The 24 volts and the 110. And it depends on which side on the power supply you're biting from. You're gonna find out. And it was an American Bulldog. And me and him are sitting at his table in the living room. And all of a sudden, the whole table fucking comes up about 3 feet in the air, and the dog just goes, brrr! He
Oh, that
bit
poor
through,
dog.
yeah, he bit through the voltage cable, and ever since then, the dog kind of lost the taste for wires.
Well, as he should.
So, he's chewed on a couple of the Xbox wires, but he was always lucky to do it on the port side, not the starburst side.
Hmm.
But he definitely got the starburst that day. And yeah, man, it was quite a spectacle, man. Chips and shit all over the place because it's like it wasn't a Noguchi table, but it was similar to it, and it just the whole thing just raised, and yeah, at least it didn't break because we caught that. And yeah, then the Xbox gaming was at least it wasn't done because he didn't chew through. You can repair it, you can replace that other cable side instead of the AC. So yeah,
Interesting.
that's how pets find out.
Yeah, to not do certain things.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's. God damn it! I'll have to go on an investigation if it's my network or anything else. This is just annoying. Because last week was
weird.
smooth sailing, so the only thing that changed since last week is that Windows update. So maybe it's like a Windows update that's not that stable with this build of OBS or something.
Weird.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's just like it's almost like periodically every half an hour, I guess, or 20 minutes, 25 minutes that it just went down again.
Yeah, well, I can see there's like a buffer bar I can see, and quite a few times it sort of drops into the buffer zone and then recuperates before it totally fails, and then every 20 minutes or so sometimes it's like on the verge of like complete failing.
Interesting.
And I like normally this isn't at all like this. So far we dropped slightly over 5,000 frames at like 30 frames a minute or 30 frames a second. It's not that much. It's like 2%, but normally it's 0.0%.
Interesting. Well, like you've been there. This is our second podcast from the new spot, so you'll see what's good. Hey, Sandeep, it's not my internet at all.
And I haven't imported it.
That's right. Something's going on in this building. Maybe Grandpa's downloading torrents 2 floors below you, just sucking down the whole node on the building. Oh shit! Getting his
We're
top
all on fiber here. We're not on like your weird network stuff you have over there. It's not like a shared pipe.
downloading his Top Gun in 1080p.
There will be a Top Gun 2 soon.
Is it? I hope he's not in it.
He will.
He's probably gonna be like the training instructor now. Hey guys! I don't know.
Top Gun Maverick, scheduled for release in 2020.
New Windows updates have problems, Lord says. I don't know, man. My lab, well, this one's, it's all cursed here, so I'm good.
Yeah, so Tom Cruise is going to be the main character again in the new Top Gun.
Oh, no.
It's supposedly June next year.
So why would they put a geezer in it? Like, that guy's a geezer comparing to, like, what the actual people that fly this.
Well, he flies himself. He has like World War II.
Yeah, but what, like a Cessna or some fucking plane prop duster?
No, he has 2 or 3 P-52 Mustangs from like World War II.
And what does he go and shoots crows off his fucking rice fields?
These things go at least 500 miles an hour.
Interesting.
I mean, they're dogfighting planes from World War II.
Yeah, I know, but so okay, so you fly that, and then you so okay, you're still. I don't know. It should have been somebody younger in my onion.
Well, maybe he takes on the sort of teacher role or something for a change.
That's what I'm hoping. Yeah. Hope he's like a barman. Fuck. Total side role. That's right. Oh my god, give him a couch to hop on and yeah. But
and then he'll have a crisis of confidence and he'll get back better than ever and he'll beat the Russians.
Exactly. Did you mount your Lab 18s yet? Are they hooked up or no?
No, not yet. I like all the cable is there. I just need a little bit of cable gutter to like hide it from the cats mostly.
The power?
No, the Ethernet cable
Well, you need Ethernet to the 18th for what?
for wired. I don't use wires.
Oh, so you're wiring them into the TV?
Yeah,
Oh, I see.
and
What about?
from the TV, it's like wired all the way to over there. It's just it needs to go into the speaker now. And like I need so the last bit from it's all behind like the radiators. There's a radiator behind this couch.
Yeah. So you run Cat 7s all the way around?
Yeah.
Nice.
And but the cats, the actual animal cats, can't get to the cable behind the radiator. But as soon as I
Okay.
leave it out there and it's like in curly bits, they're gonna go, oh,
And pull it out, yeah.
yeah. And I don't feel like having to redo that whole loop again.
Cats are the worst pets because you can't get away with anything. Like you have to have everything like proper because they will find shit and ruin it. Dogs more or less chew stuff up. That's what I found over the years living with them.
Well, it's only one cat that chews on things. Winston doesn't give a shit.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. They're really different. Like they're brothers, but they're not the same at all.
They're not twin brothers. Or are they twins? I guess. No, they couldn't be.
Did anyone get to see the new products that got leaked on the Bio World before the moderators pulled it down? Yes, Bang and Olufsen did an oopsie.
Oh, did they? What is it?
Well, I sort of... I agree with the moderators on the forum, quite honestly. I don't want to give the Chinese a head start in copy pastaing this shit before the Bang and Olufsen comes to market. I can say a lot about it. It looks very good, and I think it's mostly Beoplay. But I have a few stills and whatnot, but I won't show it because I think we talked about this last week a bit. So like, this is one of those oopsies that's like a big oopsie.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the stuff you saw isn't going to be out for at least another year or so.
Yeah, that's far away.
I mean, some stuff will be sooner, but like a lot of stuff will be, let's say, 9 months to a year. And some of them, things you could see if you know what you were looking at, were concepts. And then, yeah. So do we want to help people rip Bang & Olufsen off? Or when it's already not going that stellar?
Yeah, they're not doing well at all. Might as well keep them going for what they're worth with it. They definitely are. I think they're retracting from North America than anything.
I wonder if and when they're gonna have that so-called internet store properly up in America.
If ever.
Yeah, because like even Beoplay is no longer a site now.
Yeah, so I don't understand. Like, okay, so how do you expect people to set this up?
Well, with
their
the
user
Beoplay,
guides are
I guess
laughable.
It's sort of like whatever.
Yeah, I know, but it's the same token. Like, if you look at the Beoplay and per se the wall bracket mounting guide on the V1, like it was laughable instructions. That like yes, I have an understanding because I've been around B&O for a while. But people that just bought this straight out of the box and open this stuff and they look at this coloring book worth of bullshit, and they're like, wow, how do I put this together now? And not understand the fact that if you bought the right hand side, it only goes to the right hand side of the TV because they don't try to rotate. Because what if we just turn it this way, right? But it doesn't work like that. You either or. That's what it is. So I just don't understand how that's gonna work without people that are actually proficient in installing this stuff, like myself. And I guess now I'm the last one standing between, everybody here in Calgary, more or less.
Yeah.
My client's mate, or like the housemate, whatever, she broke the fuck out of the BO6, like.
Yeah.
I just sent him a bill for it because he broke it he broke one himself, like to the point, like that one was just done and done. Like it was, you couldn't even get into it. It was so bent up, the ball was messed. So I got him a brand new remote. I haven't billed him for 2 months. I'm like, I'll just send him the bill now. It lasted 4 hours later. He emails me that his nanny dropped it, and it's just like the glass was falling out of the fucking thing.
Yeah. This is weird, by the way. If the Beoplay site for .com slash what is it? US still, or England still works, but generally here anyway you get redirected to Bang and Olufsen home site. So
I get redirected to B&O site, yeah.
And then it's, I don't
the
like
bronze
this.
collection.
I don't like it that the separation is gone anymore, because now they sort of put Beoplay on par with Bang and Olufsen products.
Yeah, but they also have taken down a whole bunch of shit, quote unquote, less than anything from there.
Yeah.
Because there was a whole bunch of product that was just, ear set, for God's sakes. Good design, but an absolute failure. Absolute failure.
Did you also dislike the sound, or just the microphone?
Just the microphones and the whole longevity of them. And I actually ended up trading them for a box of Lego, or a Lego set to a buddy of mine. And that's it. I got a Volvo fucking Zoox, that crazy futuristic loader. So I'm gonna build that and have more fun with that than dicking around with the headphones. And he quite honestly wanted something to work out with that is wireless. So he's not gonna be talking. He's just gonna listen, and he's gonna be listening to him for about an hour and something, which is basically what they last for, anyways. So yeah, good riddance.
Yeah.
I would be pissed if I paid $400 online on them for them, what they asked.
Yes.
I'd be pissed.
They're not worth it.
They're not worth that money whatsoever, man. Like, most of the stuff that, like some of the headphones that came out, like these H cloth ones, whatever, with the cloth thing, like, I don't even know what number, because I don't care. Those should, like, why even bother? And which one was the earset 9s, or whichever one's the one that go in the ear, those were actually a good idea. The first one sucked.
Yes.
Second ones were much better. But
even so, they're more or less Samsung Sennheiser sort of semi rip-off. They're not totally B&O.
Yeah, I know, because Sennheiser's ones, they actually have the modular foamy things that go in your ears, right?
Yeah, so I don't know. It's like the E8s, when everybody else seems to get it right with the syncing between left and right ear or ear pieces, Bang & Olufsen sometimes has a problem with it for some reason. I don't know why, but
Mark was saying that the Remova is out of stock, the Remova edition. I figured that it would be, because they probably have like maybe 3,000 pieces, if not less.
Oh, yeah, it was limited edition.
So...
And by limited, they really mean limited, just like the BSM 1 in black.
So that's all gone. And I'm not, like, I've seen them going for fucking 1,700 euros on eBay.
They were ridiculous to begin with.
No. I'm talking about the H99 Remova.
Yeah. I know, but the base price was ridiculous to begin with anyway.
Marco, I love it. You suck. You know what? I don't care for the case that much. I would really love to have one because it looks cool. But I just, as much as I love the B&O, there's no way that I would pay that much money for it. Oh, I like how the grills now are showing through because the light's coming down in your house.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're nice.
I'll have them lighted properly soon, and we're just proper lighting around. Still need to get around to all that. Get some curtains in for all the reflections and whatnot.
Well, that's exactly. Are you gonna get those IKEA ones, the motorized deals, or no?
No.
Are you gonna get a gateway or intelligence, the living intelligence there? Are you gonna live intelligently?
Probably not, because if it was just me, it would be fine. But if I have to like explain this to my girlfriend and my mum-in-law, it's
Just dumb it down, bro. You can just have your own macros and shit.
yeah.
So simple.
Yeah, I don't know yet, maybe, but I think for now, also,
When I'll come by, we'll do it.
yeah. Also, something that still needs to be done in this place is like replace what you call it, the whole window pane section, and it'll be from left to right.
Yeah, that's gonna suck. That's winter. That's summertime, I'm hoping.
Yeah, that's why we haven't done it yet. Because it's not cold or anything, and it's like I don't know, it's like 12 millimeter glass at the moment, but it's single sheet glazing in the end. So like if the one side is cold, the other side is cold. So we're gonna replace that for double sheet glazing. It'll be a lot better for sound as well from the outside.
Oh, for sure. Sound would definitely from double even character per pane.
It's not even loud. Like, it's shut now, and there's a bunch of stuff going on outside. I bet if I open the door, you'll be able to hear a bunch of stuff. But also, we'll
Same here. I hear a whole bunch of shit when I open. I can hear the goofy sirens though, no matter what. Like you can't really dodge those. They go high up.
Yeah, there's a police station that way actually. But if everything is shut, even if they come underneath the building, I barely hear anything. Even with single.
Yeah, no, here you can, because it just freaking rings off the road.
Yeah.
Not much. It's not like downtown. Downtown, that shit just rings through, man.
Yeah.
Unless you're on like 20 floors and up, then it's not that, I guess, noisy, because it doesn't bounce off as much.
What floor are you on?
I'm on 6th right now.
Oh, so I'm double that.
Yeah.
I'm on the 12th.
And I'm facing the park and a little like the what is it, the old folks home, right?
Yeah.
So the ambos show up at least 4 times a day.
Yeah. There's always something going on over there.
Yeah, and it's never good because they don't bring cakes and shit when they come in a goddamn ambulance.
Generally not, no.
No.
They generally bring in an AED device.
Yeah, the only sparklers there are is a fucking defibrillator. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, for when you want to have a fun weekend.
David is saying that he got an email from the other day from the local store offering him 77-inch OLED 2018 model for £4,500. And if the stores are stores are now, I guess they're going to be official LG dealers now because it's they're paired up, so it's they can sell. I hope that they don't have to service all that and people don't just take advantage of it or it just doesn't go sideways with everybody, that they just become this recycling service depot for LG. That's one of my.
There's not much service, quite honestly, usually with LG. Like the way it's usually set up is that if something goes wrong,
it's done. Yeah.
Well, you change over the screen and your dealer or wherever you buy it sends it back to LG and they have a look. So if anything gets repaired, it's at LG service center somewhere. It's not at your local dealer.
No, I know that, but still it just creates fucking cost of shipping and pissing around and whatever.
Well,
that's saying like what Sandeep is saying, imagine it'll be only for select few OLEDs, which I might agree with him that, like they only service the TVs that B&O would have.
I don't know.
But if they're an official dealer, Sandeep, I don't see that being that way. I think that they're gonna more or less have access an order sheet to get you whatever TV you actually prefer from LG. But like this is what comes with the Harmony type of thing.
Yeah, but that's the C9 panel, which is the second one from the bottom. So it's not
again.
I mean, that TV is perfect for, like, if you have a kid going to, like, I don't know. The way I say it is because most people are, like, 50 to 60 that buy B&O and that have children. We don't. We're the odd ducklings in that sense. But if you have a kid going to college and he needs a TV, you buy him either a B9 or a C9. So you might as well go to your B&O dealer for that. I mean, the only differentiation, really, LG... Well, the major one is the chipset. Like, the B9 is basically last year's chipset. The C9 and up is this year's chipset. And the only other differentiation is the sound.
Mm-hmm.
And or if it's the wallpaper model. But... yeah, we're not going to use that. Unless you do WiSA only.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, I guess they will sell you one, but I don't see why they wouldn't sell you more than just the C models. Then again, it's not a bad TV. It's the most generic one out of the lot.
But at the end of the day, like, the dealers don't really sell only B&O. Like, here, the dealers are also dabbling with the Lutron or Control 4 or any other control systems, more or less, and home automation that comes in with the BeoLiving Intelligence or the gateway, more or less, than it used to be in the yesteryears of, I guess, the terms.
Oh, yeah, sure. But also, it's, LG is also more promoting WiSA now with that USB dongle, and one of the first partners they mentioned was Bang and Olufsen, so...
But it kind of makes sense to go wireless with the WiSA because it is a solid system. Not if you get something super high resolution like the 50s or 90s or whatever. If the 30s come in, I think that they're going to be up in those ranges too, in my opinion. But anything like 20s, you can get away with murder and just put them on wireless.
Yeah, I don't think you would even really notice that much difference with 20s wired or WiSA.
No, I don't think so.
Can we explain? WiSA is basically a wireless, like Wi-Fi, but for sound, information. It works on the 5 gigahertz bandwidth.
5.1 to 5.3 bandwidth. It's basically what it is.
Yeah, so it's above the normal 5 gigahertz network bit, so it doesn't interfere with one another. Although there is still quite a lot of interference if the 5 gigahertz channel is very, very busy.
Yes.
Or there can be. It very much depends. Like if you're right next to like a 5 gigahertz transmitter that's from like Ubiquiti that's meant for 1,000 square meters, it's not going to work. Because it's just too powerful.
I don't know. Mine is, I don't have a long range. I used to have long range back, but it was 2.4. I have a 5 gigahertz network here. Like, I know I don't have it fall off, and I didn't have it fall off in the shop when we had it. Like, WiSA worked perfectly.
Yeah.
But it also is country dependent because it's essentially what they're using is demilitarized frequency zones for transmission. And we are, I think, 6 channels in Canada or US, and China only has few, so they're a completely different end of the spectrum. So how the WiSA actually is sold, so you can't really take your US speakers to China and expect them to work per se.
Yeah. Well,
wirelessly.
To put it this way, so with Apple 4K box, Eric had issues with his Beolab 18s that they were on WiSA and they would drop out. And I think it was partially where his router was. If you have an Apple AirPort Extreme, which is like just a router basically, that one
dip it in a toilet.
That one in particular interfered with WiSA for some reason. I don't know. It's maybe it is a tolerance thing. Like how far up and above are you allowed to go, or is the manufacturer setting it to go? It's
yeah, but most the common people don't fuck around with the network settings to that point and screw around with the antenna power and whatever else have you, right?
Yeah, but I think Apple just set the antenna power quite high, and then it interferes with stuff that you normally wouldn't notice, I guess, because there's not much on it. But the issue with the LG WiSA solution that is if you use the dongle, you cannot use the LG TV speaker as a center. You will need another separate center, or make do without one. True.
Yes, Sandy be right, but I would. If you have 90s, you would need the fucker.
No. Plus, if you have an LG C9, the center or whatever is deemed the center is shit anyway, because they're backwards firing speakers. They fire towards the wall and or down, so they don't point at you even. So it doesn't matter. You're always going to get an upgrade.
Interesting.
I mean, that's how they get like the sort of the picture only sort of thing. Like if you have the the wallpaper one or the E9, then you have like this power bar that's like sort of looped down, and you have like a grill and whatnot, and it's pointing at you. But otherwise, it's not doing much of anything towards you.
Eric would burn. That's a notification.
Do you guys go with a phantom center channel? You do all the time. I do sometimes. Oh yeah. It depends.
Mine's wearing a mask.
I used to do, well, I can't really say definitively about this place. All I can say is for this place where I am now is the speakers are a lot further apart, and I noticed the lack of a center speaker quicker than I used to. Then again, also compared to the old place, the 50s aren't tuned yet, so they don't sound as good as they should yet, although they still sound fantastic. But I'll have to get back to you on if I could fully endorse that when the space is a lot more than it used to be, like Willie's setup. My setup in my old place used to be more like Willie's sort of size, and it's a lot bigger here. Like center to center is like 5 meters, and that used to be about 3.5 or so. And I mean, that may not sound like that much, but that 1.5 meters might just be the sort of sweet spot where you sort of still have a phantom center, but it's, I don't know, it's not as sort of powerful, if that makes any sense. Sandeep, your dealer offered you a pair of 50s for 18k pounds, I take it. Yeah, that is quite tempting. X demo. Knock 2 off of it, and then you're more or less there. Or come to Holland, and we can buy you a pair of X demos for less than that in pounds. I mean, I'll take you to the place. Yeah.
Yeah, they do need space.
Yeah.
So how do you find it when they're so separate now? Like, well, obviously once you tune them, it's a different story. But right now, what do you think acoustically?
Well, that's what I sort of just said. I do feel like when they're this much farther apart, it's like 1.5 meters further apart. That it's. I notice the lack of a proper center channel quicker, but I'm not totally sure if that's like the 50s not being tuned properly yet for where we sit.
Yeah, fair enough.
And or like even the rears aren't attached yet. It's a bunch of things, so I have to get back on that for a proper answer. Like if you have them like 3.5 to 4 meters apart and tuned, you can go without a center, really.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Especially so my question is, 90s are a different animal anyway. So
yeah. Do you know if the microphone works on the Avant or no?
On the Avant or on the Eclipse?
Oh, sorry, the Eclipse.
No.
It
as in, like, I know it doesn't work yet.
Okay.
So, I mean, maybe there is something, but I haven't heard anything, and as far as I can tell, it's been basically pointless this entire time.
David's saying I have a pair of 5s and he's tempted for the 50s. Would I notice a big difference?
Yes.
Yes, you would. Yes, you
The simple answer is
would.
yes. Watch last week's podcast. Henrik goes into it because he has a pair of 5s and he got 50s to test, and he was in the predicament now of like, God damn it, do I have to buy these, or am I going to be stuck
he said it would
with
be
my
hard to
tin
let them go
cans?
and listen. Yeah, he said it would be hard to let them go and look at the fives now.
Yeah.
Even though the fives are awesome, they are nowhere near, and it's just they're nowhere near.
Yeah, it's they're a different animal. I mean, I still like the fives, and it's still clear. Like, it's first 90s, then 50s, then fives. Like, it's just, instead of the second best speaker now, it's the third best speaker.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as simple as that, really.
Yeah, that's basically it. That's the where they are. They're number 3 now. They've been number 1 for 12 years.
Yeah. So it's about time something took them over.
Yeah. Then they got knocked down quite hard because the 90s comparing to the 5s, it was just like, holy fuck. There's no comparison there. And then they squished in the 50s in between.
Yeah.
Which is funny because they promised that they're like, the software, yes, eventually it'll start. Well, it didn't take that long for them to start disseminating the Lab 90s technology into like the 50s and
about 2 years.
Yeah. So it wasn't that well. It took 2 years for them to finalize the goddamn 90s speaker to sound proper, because the second update was that it had to do with the tuning of the speaker itself, and its performance. Second update was just more or less just shit and kinks and whatever they were ironing out, and then as they updated they enabled a whole bunch of features that are cool. But and I think that once the 90s were solidified, that's when the 50s were starting to be dabbled with in a more serious manner.
I'm still blown away sometimes when I listen to the 5s, so the 50s and 90s must be amazing. It's all in the setup, I guess. Listened to the 90s when they first came out and wasn't very impressed. True, because in true Bang and Olufsen fashion, the software wasn't fucking ready when they launched.
No, the 90s, even when I bought mine a year later, I had them untuned for I think about 3 to 4 months before the software actually came out. That they were tuned without the PC and the bullshit XLR inputs and an extra crazy whatever specific microphone and all the shit that it had. So for speakers that were of that price tag, I was quite disappointed, but I couldn't care less because to me it was exciting that you just get more and more functionality over time with them, right?
Yeah, which but it's not shit that you bought them as thinking they already had all that functionality.
But that's how they were selling them, right? Like, over time, like the speaker doesn't lose its value, and I understand that, yes. So now you introduce the parametric filters, and so you can even more accurately tune the speakers to your ear. And the last update was the goofy bass and treble control for all the, I don't know, Bose converts. Like, I don't know who the fuck even needs to use that, but it's there now. So I guess there was a need for that in a third-party world, because I think, I don't know, is more people buying those speakers that don't own the B&O as an audio master, because there's really not one to be had. Moment's gone, and not many
with a
people
core that can't even do the 24-bit 192 kilohertz.
Well, that's one thing, and secondly, like, you gotta have a goddamn phone to use it, because what are you gonna blind navigate this with an Essence remote and have less functionality than a BeoSound 2 from 2002?
Mm-hmm.
So I just
Sunday I was super impressed with the 50s when they first came out. Just like the 90s, the USB audio didn't work at the time.
Yeah.
Like, it was sold with, like, it can do X, Y, and Z. It supposedly works now. I haven't tested it because, I have a TV, so I have no need for it. But
that's on the premise that they were selling the 90s on, that if you can afford those, you can afford the TV to go with them. And that's why, to me, the icon was back in the day 5s and a 9000. You can't correctly connect the moment to the 90s, actually telling and picking in the menu the speakers. You just have to have them as other.
Yeah. Yeah, that was weird.
Which to me is a little goofy, because you should be able to do that and then should use the My buttons instead of the link eye to change between the presets for the tuning that you have.
Yeah.
From the 3 that are default. Like, that's what would make sense to me, because obviously they communicate that shit through WiSA protocol anyways from the televisions, because I had them wirelessly connected. So it should have been more tended to and addressed in the BeoSound moment, but they kind of just gave up on that thing because they've lost the screen supplier. So, and then the overstock units from the BeoSound moments became service units.
Yeah. Yeah, so I spoke to a buddy who also has 50s, but he doesn't have it through a B&O TV, but through a Marantz receiver with pre-outs and whatnot. And apparently he's been going through hell as well. But again, now he's wired them up for Wi-Fi. It's a lot better. Or internet.
Yeah,
you
for
don't
network,
wire
yeah.
for Wi-Fi. That's stupid. But
That's right.
so, but now, software-wise, they're supposed to work fully. I haven't tested it because, like, most of my stuff is connected to the TV, and then from TV it goes through PowerLink or digital PowerLink or whatever you want to call it. But so if you, yeah, it depends a bit. But now they should work. Now, I guess I can give it a try at some point, but I have too much other stuff to do first to like really sit down and give that a try.
Yeah, so I don't know, like, and I understand that a lot of people, yeah, like, even some of my clients, if they were to buy those speakers, they would probably put their clear audio or whatever crazy ass turntable hooked up to some, whatever preamp and blah 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 blah. And I just don't know, because I run a sterile B&O environment in my house. I would say I have nothing here that is non-B&O-ish per se. And I like it because I have control over every single aspect of my rooms. And so, yeah, I just, I actually, to be honest with you guys, I thought about having and purchasing on eBay an MD player or minidisc, like the Sony minidisc component player, to have in my stack and rack, so I can just play directly to the 90s, and maybe, just maybe, put a link eye into the Lego box behind the speaker, built in a little bit, so it doesn't show, but it can see. Yeah. And have it control and just listen to the minidiscs in that way. It's more or less nothing else but the sake of nostalgia, I guess. But I really have no rhyme and reason to do that, because if I want to listen to high def music, you can do it through. Tidal, you can do it through Apple TV, even though I guess it doesn't do the 24-bit through Apple TV. I don't know if it does or not for the new one.
I don't have an Apple TV anymore, so once I got to the Eclipse, I sort of ditched that because it was super useful for the BV10. But since it's all native apps now, it's like
doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah. The stuff I used the Apple TV for was Netflix and YouTube. And that's native on there anyway.
I do agree with Michael there. He's like, I want a Marantz SA10 player. I would actually get one of those too, that you can play the SACDs and so that crazy ass quality directly into the speaker. I think that'd be sick. And then the rest I could care less about, to be honest. I'm not really into vinyl, and as per number of podcasts, as I stated, I just don't care for it. It's something that to me, it's a dead technology. It may sound better in one way or the other. It doesn't. It's not as accurate, and everything that's recorded nowadays is recorded digital anyways and put onto vinyl. So sorry, but I'll just step that analog part of it all. And I don't have to attend to my music as much. I actually appreciate that goofy mood wheel on the BeoSound moment. So it's fun.
You can always set it to angry.
Yeah, that shit kind of gets you fucking wrist slitting mood, that's for sure. Yeah, but that's a CD player or a disc player more or less because it's everything that I would use.
Uh, you can entirely tell that this isn't B&O because it doesn't look that great.
No, like Marantz has their own like very distinct design of what the component systems look like.
Yeah.
You know, it definitely would look good in a fucking closet. Or a B&O cabinet for that matter, but I think that the problem with that thing is it's too big.
Yeah.
It's too deep for a B&O cabinet. That's what I had an issue with when I had my Marantz. I had to actually buy angled RCA connectors specific for that, just so I can park it in there.
I'd rather not have the SA quality and still keep my BSound 9000.
Well, the only reason why I would do the SACD quality or SACD player is so I can listen to that one fucking Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon SACD. That's the only reason why I would get it. There's not really that much on SACDs that, and current music, it's non-existent in that format because, you know, the hipsters and vegans don't fuck around with this shit no more, man. They you know, they don't even believe in USB sticks. It's just, here's my shit on SoundCloud, here's a link, and there you go.
Optical or coaxial?
There's no difference, really.
No. Well, I would go for optical because of that, because it's easier to manage. It's thin as fuck. You can route it almost anywhere.
Yeah, but I would go more or less for a coaxial because it's more common throughout the structures here, so you can run just like I did. I'm running a coax SPDIF through my fucking entire apartment all the way to the master speaker behind me directly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm using the given cable, and there's really no impedance in quality. It's definitely quieter than going through the master link converter and all that stuff. But I do like the sound of it's actually interesting because I did hook up the 9000 directly to the 90s and listen to them. So I listened to the 9000 DAC, more or less, is what I would say. And then I listened to them through, obviously, the SPDIF output. So I listened to the 90s from how the 9000 picked up. And I really like it. Did we circle the drain again? Something happened.
Yeah, it's... God damn it, I have to look into this. The only thing that was changed last week for some reason after having just moved my computer, I shut it down properly. Once I turned it back up again, OBS had decided that all the mics and everything were default, as in
nice,
not receiving, which is default for some reason.
Michael says this. Well, some say that the coax attacks noise instead of optical. Yeah, but you know what? The optical cable, though, it's more impervious, or no, it's less impervious to damage. First of all, and second of all, it does lose on its signal as well as the light is. So it depends on how far you're going with it. So that's I don't know, it's 6 of one, half dozen the other, but at the end of the day, like I'm sure as shit there is noise where I am at right now, because it's an apartment building with what I can see through the cores thing when I've done it, I can see 41 networks wirelessly. So I'm sure some of those are actually getting picked up through the shielding, but that's the reason and point of the shielding in a coax cable, that the braided shields from the the copper where the signal is going through.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how much it obviously makes it through, I guess, about, let's say, 40 meters of cable and a couple splices all the way to the back of the 90s, and it works no problem. So I would not be able to do that discreetly with optical cable, period.
You wouldn't when it's a smaller cable?
And quite honestly, what I would have to do, I would have to get the optical output, SPDIF to optical, and then I would be converting, basically, I would be on that DAC instead of, if I was just hooking up SPDIF from the 9000 directly to the SPDIF input on the 90s, where optical would be more or less like from my Sony mini disc player or the SACD or something.
But with an optical cable, like it's so much smaller than a coaxial cable. How could you not have it as tidy?
Because I'm running in my house, I'm running I'm running the everything into the wall,
Yeah.
and then that coax cable that I have SPDIF hooked up to from the 9000 goes into my closet where all the wires come from. All the conduit comes from every room.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I just patch those two because I have a coaxial cable coming out of that side where the cheap TVs would be in the actual apartment, right?
Yeah.
So I use that to bring the SPDIF signal from the 9000
Oh,
loop
okay.
through
In
all
that
the way
way.
there. There's no fucking way I would have been able to do it uh, with the optical cable unless I would just go through a pain in the ass of pulling that optical wire through. And the biggest deal with that would be then if I were to crimp it or kink it somewhere, it's done. Like you broke that, right?
Yeah. Oh, god
So
damn it.
the
OBS is...
kit is
No, it's not that. OBS is still taking a dump for some reason.
shit is happening. So are we online or offline?
It seems like we're sort of
We're
offline,
back.
but now on my end we're off online again. But OBS took another dump, so you know what I'll do? I'll just re-upload it later because that's, I guess, the good thing about recording.
But yeah, you don't have dropouts. So am I dropping out or is it just the
No.
OBS?
It's on my end, but I don't know where the fuck it's happening
I don't know.
because
Something's are.
yeah, I have to figure it out.
Probably you wired the 90s in, now your internet's fucked up. Or sorry, your 50s. That's
Yeah,
what's happening.
yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's
No, it won't be the speakers, that's for damn sure.
no. I don't think it is, but it's just weird because the what you call it on the router thing, lights are blinking for a system that's off.
Weird. Maybe you guys don't have Sunday internet. Everybody's home, browsing, getting
No,
their shit.
it's so far it's been stable as fuck. Like I've been testing it, and like throughout the day at different periods in time, doesn't change a thing.
But it's up
Yeah,
to date.
yeah. But I have a feeling it's OBS and the Windows thing somewhere.
Someone's not agreeing with something.
Yeah, and for some reason OBS never saves your settings the way you save them. And I don't know what it is, but so like every week there's the few basic ones that somehow get changed, like your mic settings. Like sometimes you're like 200% volume all of a sudden, or none. Which is like, yay, this is going great.
So I'm still wondering how many people are actually using other sources or even, how many of those speakers do actually make it to the end user that is a B&O end user, like the 50s and 90s? Because most of this Instagram shit that I've seen, it's all sold with the, like either old or new generation Avant or an Eclipse 65.
I think the majority still is Bang and Olufsen. But for like audio masters and or that sort of stuff, it's hardly Bang and Olufsen at all anymore. So it's always like these Rune kind of products where you have your like it's all automated where you all your album art comes on the app and whatnot on your iPad and or phone, and that just seems to be better than either a Moment or whatever else was in the past.
I don't know. I kind of, not that I missed a Moment because I have one, but I would miss it in the shop because I'm sure that most of the stores still keep it around.
Yeah.
If they didn't get rid of, but I just think that, they keep it around because at the end of the day, they're realizing it is the only thing to actually have that you can demo the products with or music with.
Yes. But
That's
like
the only
Marco said, they
drawback.
had a Lin streamer in their store.
Yeah.
So I mean, does the moment even do 24-bit 192 kilohertz, or is it just sort of core-esque? Because the core even isn't 196 kilohertz at 24-bit.
No.
So
Well, USB, I guess, is the USB input on those speakers would be.
on the speakers, yeah, but like none of the audio streamers of Bang and Olufsen are like the moment and or the core.
Oh, hell no, hell no. That's like, even if you go, that's maybe a FLAC file quality at the most with the Deezer high premium.
Yeah.
So, which, mind you, I don't mind the way that the Deezer sounds here at all. And do I really do anything? Like, even if I were to listen to the high-end quality music, there is really not that much out there to consume as high-quality music, and you can only listen to so much Bjork and shit from, like the back in
Sure, but it even at a lower quality, it matters how good. So if to put it this way, like the throughput is maybe in sort of all right everywhere, but like the better even the throughput of a lesser quality, you can notice it in there.
Of course.
And for that matter, yeah, it's not all the same. Like there was some post on the forum somewhere where it was about 90s, and Jeff Martin replied that like not all sources are the same, even though they say they can do X, and both do X. There still can be a difference.
Yeah.
And I should have bookmarked it because it was quite like a thing, and he listed a few things that sometimes made a difference. Let's see if I can find it. Probably not, obviously, because we're so well prepared.
Anyone using the large volume control wheel B&O has? You mean the Essence remote?
Yeah, that's an Essence remote. I don't. You have a few, don't you?
I have a few of them, yeah. I like them. Though they are kind of finicky lately. I don't know what the fuck.
Have you stopped them from like mute, pause, and or going max volume yet? You used to have that, right? Well,
no, that was with the Moment only.
Oh.
Yeah, that was only Moment that had that. The tablet, once you started turning it up, it never told the thing that you stopped turning it up, and it just went all the way. But I don't know. I like them. I like them a lot. I have two, and they're a wall bracket ones, so I've stuck them on the walls. They're both in bathrooms because that's the only place that I really have justifiably to use them. And yeah, I like them. And now that the Beo Remote 1 is compatible with its own product line, like BeoSound Core or BeoSound 1 and 2, I don't have a need for, putting more around the house. I would like to put one here somewhere, just for more or less put it in a light control mode and then have it programmed into the through the gateway, so you can actually dim and turn on all the lights.
Yeah. No, I can't bloody well find it. I'll try and get it up for next week.
Yeah, Sandy's saying that what do we know about the new B&O remote do? I don't know anything about it more or less than hopefully something new is coming.
Yeah.
You say it.
It's not a known, so to say. It's more of a how to put it. It's an alpha testing, I guess. Like it's really like see if it actually properly works and that sort of stuff.
And then they put it to beta testing, which is production.
Yeah, like you make all of them and you sell them. You see what happens.
Right. This looks cool. Let's make 1,000. Oh fuck, they don't work. Well, we'll make something work. And that's how Beo 6 was born. Or Beo 5, sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see who's going to be the first final product / beta tester, I guess.
Yeah, I hope that they come up with something that has a screen and backlit fucking buttons, because it's 2020 almost. By the time that comes out, I'm sure. So I would expect to have a Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity to your accounts.
I should hope so, yeah.
And I don't think it's going to look like a ball, so I'm kind of having a hard time imagining what the fuck that's going to be like. Because you can't have it like this, because then you're not going to read it like an idiot, right? Like, salute to BNO every time.
Yeah.
So, definitely it's going to have to be a wider screen. So I don't understand how that would still work without having like the ball look thing going on.
No, sorry, I'm a teacher. It's a lag fest on my end, and I don't know why, for crying out loud. So, good thing I'm recording, because you can't trust the YouTube or the OBS, apparently.
Bastards.
Yeah. So what I'll probably do later is unlist it and upload what I've saved as a file, because at least we're fucking clear in the recording.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
that's
whatever
weird.
is being transcoded and sent to YouTube that's fucking up.
No,
and I'm looking at the buffer bar, and the buffer is set at 8,000 kilobits a second, and as in like a maximum, and stay there. And quite a few times it overshoots it to like 12,000, and then to compensate, it drops down to like 3. And then it shoots back up to like 8 in a bit, and it stays there, and it goes a little bit over and thinks, oh, I have to drop down to 2 now.
Yeah, we're up and down like Canadian dollar, and the resolution is more or less like the VCR quality.
Yeah, and right now it dipped to 0, and then it jumped up to 4,000, now to 800, now to 0 again. What the fuck?
And now we're clear. There we go. Yeah, that's funny. Technology.
This is not normal. The only other time we've had this was when my computer, the CPU cooler, literally died. But I'm staring.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that podcast.
But I'm literally staring at the temperature of my processor chip, and it's in the 40s. So
it's got a smiley face on it?
Well, more or less. Like, the point it gets dicey is above 95. And it's like, it's 46 now. So it's as happy as it can be.
Yeah, you're not running it stressed for sure.
No, so what the hell? It's, yeah.
Can't tell you.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to figure this out. I think it might be OBS. Maybe it needs an update or something, or I need to reinstall it. We'll figure it out. But I guess it's been 2 hours, so because of all the delays and whatnot, let's call it, because this stuttering it's driving me mad, and I want to figure out what it is.
He's gonna get to dig in. Yeah, man. We can definitely revisit
normally
next
it would
week.
have been longer if we didn't have this shit going on.
Yeah, it's really weird that it's happening for some reason.
Because
no idea why.
I'm fairly certain it's not the internet, because you're buttery smooth on my end. I mean, it's almost like you reset your router recently.
Yeah, no, I didn't do anything really. Sometimes I find that I have lag on certain things that I'm watching, but it's only on the iPad. Like some YouTube's video buffer longer than the others, and everything's got its moments, I guess.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Well, sorry for the short show. Thank you for watching, I guess. If you didn't buffer too much, don't worry. I'll upload the smooth version later, and
we'll fix it.
Yeah, and Thanks for watching and see you next week.
Bye.